Welcome to The Amateurs, a brand new sports podcast hosted by Peaches and Cream and Taters.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode. I'm here with my boy Taters.
How we doing?
And we are making this episode off the cuff, based off some breaking news that the Dallas Cowboys have hired their offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer.
Said what?
To be their new head coach. So, what we're going to do to start off here is we're going to go through every single coaching change that has happened, minus the Saints because they haven't hired one yet, and we are going to grade them. So, to start out here, we have the New England Patriots, who hired Mike Vrabel. And for me, personally, I think that's an A+ hire.
Yeah, I mean, I have him as an A+ too. You see what he did as a player. He won multiple Super Bowls there as a player. He helped install that Bill Belichick culture. Do your job. They had Gerard Mayo there last year, and he was friendly to the media. He was pro player, pro friend there. Mike Vrabel's going to come in and say, no, do your job, and we're going to win a Super Bowl doing that. And, you see what he did is his track record as a Titans head coach. We're talking about the Tennessee Titans here. Team that has really a franchise that has not won much recently, and he turned them around and made them a year in, year out tough team to beat. They never really got it right at the quarterback position with Ryan Tannehill or Marcus Mariota. No one was really afraid of those quarterbacks, but they had a good offense and they had a good run game, and they were always a tough team to play. So I think that's what you're going to see in New England too. And they also have Drake May. They have plenty of cap space. I'm very excited to see what he does. As someone who doesn't hate the Patriots, even though they had those 23 years of sensational success, really, I don't really see. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be back at the top in 2-3 years. It's going to take a little bit. They're not in a good spot right now. Their roster is pretty weak, but they'll be back. I have full faith in that. But the next one, which is very fascinating, is Aaron Glenn to the Jets, which I don't know about you, Peach, but over here in Taterville, I got that as a B. I don't think it's a great hire. I really don't. But I don't think it's a terrible hire. Like, he's played there before. He knows what it takes to be a winner. He's done it with the Lions as a defensive coordinator. But he struggled at his time with the Jets. So I'd be fascinated to see how this goes, especially since his Lions defense, they didn't really perform very well coming down the stretch. I mean, the Commanders hung 45 points on them and did it with ease. So I'd be fascinated to see. Granted, the Lions did have a lot of injuries. I get it. I do. But it seems a little sus, coming from them. I don't know if he's going to be the great guy for the job, but it'd be fascinating to see what's going on.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to go slightly different direction. Not much. I'm going to go with a B+. Just because of the fact that he used to be a player there. He knows the culture. He knows what needs to happen there to get done. And like you were saying, maybe he might not have been able to prove himself down the stretch here. But like all those injuries did really hurt them. And I'd be interested to see how he goes in to turn this Jets franchise around, because Lord knows they need it.
Yeah, I mean, they do. It helps if they can get a quarterback in there that knows what he's doing. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is there, but will he be there by next year? I don't know. But
probably not. He's old.
Yeah, and, if I'm Aaron Glenn, I'm looking at it this way. I would rather get rid of Aaron Rodgers, an old Aaron Rodgers. No, young Aaron Rodgers, middle, prime Aaron Rodgers, fine. But old Aaron Rodgers, he talks more than he does play. He really doesn't put that much value. And I think you start over. You go get your guy. You go get a young, prove-it quarterback. Maybe you go get Jameis Winston. Maybe you go get Sam Darnold. Bring him back. Say, hey, this is the new Jets. The new Jets here. You know? But it'll be fascinating to see what happens. But the next one, which is really fascinating to me, is Jaguars hiring Liam Cohen. What do you feel about that, Peach? How you feeling about that one, man?
Oh, man. I don't know. Liam Cohen did the Bucs absolutely dirty. He
fleeced them.
Yeah, he signed an extension, and then a couple of days later, he is all of a sudden the Jaguars' new head coach.
So, here's my thing. Did he actually sign it? Because I was hearing some reports, like, he didn't actually really sign it. He committed to it, but, like, did he sign it? Like, and then, I don't know, did you see about the Bucs saying, like, hey, by the way, you've committed to being the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL, but you can't go interview with the Jaguars again. They told him they can't. According to Adam Schefter. I mean, and Adam Schefter is he's top of the game right now in the Insider game.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, are you kidding me? So that's a fascinating story. Like, you know, so I'm going to sign a deal to become the highest paid offensive coordinator, and then the Jaguars, I can't go review or interview with them again? Like, that's kind of, I feel like that's a little dirty by the Bucs, though. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe.
Maybe it's a story from both sides kind of thing.
Yeah, could be.
But I have this grade at a B- because you see what the Bucs offense has done throughout this past year. I mean, Baker Mayfield has been incredible there. Really revitalized his career. And their offense has been really good. So that transferring over to Jacksonville, where you have Trevor Lawrence, who's been struggling and needs someone that can help him there. They do have weapons there. It's just they need someone that can be able to develop them and be able to have a good play calling. So I do put that as a B-. I think they could have maybe done a little bit better, but it's not an overall better, an overall bad sign.
I think what really hurt him early on was the owner, Shad Khan, coming out and saying, like, Trent Baalke's going to be our GM, but who has a terrible track record with working well with head coaches. He ran Jim Harbaugh out of San Francisco. I mean, look what Jim Harbaugh did after San Francisco. He won a national title in Michigan.
Yeah.
He took the Chargers to the playoffs first year. So I think that hurt him. I think it did, because I think they could have made a push for Ben Johnson early on, because you bring Ben Johnson in, you say, look, Trent Baalke's gone. Ben Johnson probably was like, no, I don't need to mess around with that. Because you have Trevor Lawrence, you have Brian Thomas, you have Parker Washington from Penn State, young receiver that's been putting up decent numbers. Brenton Strange, all these guys, like, but they just can't put it together. So I'll be fascinated. I have Liam Cohen I have him as B+. He had Baker Mayfield looking real good, and Baker Mayfield's a talented individual. Don't get me wrong, but I'll be interested to see. I think Trevor Lawrence, maybe we were wrong about him. Everyone was saying he's better than Andrew Luck, and what has he done, Peach? I mean,
he's done nothing.
Like nothing. He's had Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots and Tom Brady, and he outclassed him, outcoached him for that game.
Oh yeah,
100%. And this is coming from an Eagles fan, so am I biased? Absolutely, a little bit. Okay, all right. Look. Talking about the birds here. I mean, come on. Little Philly coming out here. But, hey, Nick Foles, Jay Ajayi, all them boys, he put a clinic on that defense. And Trevor Lawrence couldn't do anything with him. So, really, like, I don't know, man. Like, is Trevor Lawrence the guy? I mean, he was supposed to be better than Andrew Luck. He was supposed to be a bust. Yeah, I mean, you got to come into... I don't know if you're in bust territory for me, but, like, really big disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was supposed to be Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. He was supposed to be the next guy. And they made the playoffs once, and they blew a massive lead to the Chargers.
That was embarrassing.
Massively embarrassing. Not a great look for Doug Peterson, but, hey... Bill Belichick's lost games still, but anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Liam Cohen's going to be great. I think it'll be a solid hire there, B plus. With the offensive weapons they have, it's gonna be fascinating to see what they do with him. I'll be interested to see, but the next one gets me juiced. Gets me fired up. Ben Johnson to the Bears. Listen, A plus hire.
Oh yeah,
absolutely A plus hire. I'm almost excited as much about this one as I am Mike Vrabel to the Patriots. Now, I'm a huge Mike Vrabel fan, and I love what Mike Vrabel's about. But Ben Johnson, what he's done with Jared Goff in that offense the last couple of years, certified dog. Okay, and now he's getting Caleb Williams, uber talented young quarterback. Yeah, he paints his nails, big deal. Who cares? Okay, he balls. All right, he scores points. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Our producer Cade's giving us a little fingernail gesture, which I like it. I like that energy from producer. But I think it's gonna be great. I mean, you got Keenan Allen, a savvy veteran receiver. You got Cole Kmet, veteran tight end coming out of Notre Dame. I mean, don't get me started with Notre Dame because I'm a Penn State fan, but that's a deep cut there. But hey, Notre Dame certified college football program, that has been around for a while, has a great history. But you got, what's his name, DJ Moore there. DJ Moore's balling out. So I think they'll be interesting. I think they got to get some offensive line pieces in there. They got a good little young defense coming on. And I'll be interested to see what Ben Johnson does. I think they can make some noise next year. They might be a playoff team. Don't laugh. You get Ben Johnson in there, Caleb Williams balling. Start swagging around, making some TikToks, They'll be all right. They may win a couple games.
Who knows?
Look out. What about you? What do you got Ben Johnson at? You size him as I am?
Yes, I agree with an A+. I think what he's done with the Lions offense this past couple years is outstanding. Really done great stuff with Jared Goff. Then you give him Caleb Williams, who's a lot more mobile.
Facts.
And can make some really good throws at times. So I am very interested to see what he does with Caleb Williams. And you got a good receiver core there, like you said, savvy veteran in Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
You also have a rookie this past year, Roma Dunze, out of Washington.
Ooh, that's a piece I forgot, man.
Dog.
Yeah.
And DJ Moore is also a dog.
Yep.
You got the pieces there. You need to build some more, like the offensive line.
Yep.
I think they're in a pretty good spot. Their defense is always above average, if not great. So I think they're in a very good spot with this hire. And like you said, they could be in the playoffs. I think they could be just on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to me, really is I think a couple teams are going to take a step back. I think the Lions will take a step back. But this isn't a next year playoff prediction show, but I really do think the Lions are going to take a step back. The Bears are going to take a step up. I'm interested, to see what they do in the offseason. I'm not familiar with exactly what their cap space is exactly. I know they have enough to go around, but I'll be interested to see what they do in the draft. Do they go offensive line? Maybe they go defense somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they need any more weapons. They're good there, but they need to protect Caleb Williams.
Right.
Ben Johnson's plays are great, but you need time to run them, right? Like you need time. You need an offensive line that can block, or it doesn't matter how good the play is if you don't have time, right? But that's a fascinating situation to monitor going into the offseason. Young head coach, does he got what it takes? Can he lead a room? Great offensive mind, but I don't know if it'd be interesting to see what he can do when he's got to stand up in front of an NFL team and say, boys, this is how we're going to do it. Trust me. Are they going to trust him? Or are they going to say, he's corny. I'm good. It'd be very fascinating.
Yeah.
What do you think about this next hire with the Las Vegas Raiders? What do you got there?
I think it's a great hire. I love Pete Carroll.
Yeah?
Dude's 73 and he looks like he's 50. He's energetic. He knows how to set a culture. He won Super Bowls in Seattle.
Yeah.
He's a winner.
Absolutely.
I'm put this at an A. He obviously has a lot of work to do there. Raiders need a quarterback.
Yes.
Uh,
Massively.
They need a lot of weapons. I mean, they have a dog, though, in Brock Bowers as their tight end. Guy's a dog.
Stud. Yeah,
But they do need a lot of pieces because their offense is bad. Their defense is bad. But with Tom Brady seemingly running the program now, who knows what will happen.
Yeah, which is fascinating because, like, you know, Tom Brady's working for Fox. What kind of, you know, legal issues is that going to bring up? Of course, it follows Tom Brady from his days with the Patriots, you know, Deflategate, Spygate, you name it. They cheated. They controlled the weather, apparently. But, you know, anyways, but that's besides the point. We don't need to get into that. But I'm fascinated by this. I have it at an A-. Pete Carroll, man, the way he chews that gum.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that juicy fruit.
That dog, man, he chews that gum. He gets his 55 cents worth out of that piece. At this point, he's probably got 5 or 6 pieces in there. You know, I mean, he's just putting them in one after the other, you know. He's getting his full money's worth. He used a pack in practice is what I've been told. But anyways, so I think he's going to do great. I think he's going to turn that team around. Granted, I think it's 2 years before they sniff the playoffs.
That's fair.
I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I think what my prediction is for this is they go out and they try to get a veteran that can kind of hold serve for 2 to 3 years while they figure out a younger piece. I think maybe like Sam Darnold. They go after a Sam Darnold. You know, the problem is Sam Darnold goes from having an offense of Kevin O'Connell as the head coach, who is mastermind, masterclass offensive mind. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones at running back. I mean, you've got weapons everywhere. You know, anyone could play quarterback, right? That's what they say. But, you know, I think Sam Darnold, I believe in him. I'm not on the level of someone like Colin Cowherd who thinks he's the next Joe Montana. But, you know, I think I'll say he's a B-, B+ quarterback. They can come in there and distribute the rock around, you know, flick it around a little bit, hand it off, do whatever, make the right read. So I think they go after someone like Sam Darnold. Maybe they go after someone like Kirk Cousins. But I don't think Kirk Cousins will necessarily go to Las Vegas because he wants to win at this point in his career. But they throw enough money at him, maybe they get him in there. But Pete Carroll, he's a culture builder, like you said. I mean, he gets me excited. You know.
Oh yeah.
I'd play for him. I'd play football for that guy. You know, he's about it. He brings high energy. He's going to get on you about your errors. But that's all right. You know, that's what we want as players. But, yeah, it'll be very fascinating. Now, this last hire. Now, listen. As the amateurs, you're looking at Peaches and you're looking at Taters. And I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Okay?
Through and through, baby.
Through and through. Kelly Green, you poke me, that comes out of the veins, man. All right? Now, the Dallas Cowboys. Who'd they hire, Christian Peachy?
Some guy named Brian Schottenheimer.
Who? Now, how do you rate this hire? And hold on, let me stop you there. Hold on. Brian Schottenheimer, let's not throw too much dirt on his name, okay? His father, great NFL coach. But just because my father was a great carpenter doesn't make me a great carpenter. You know what I mean? You know, so it'd be fascinating. But anyways, go ahead. We just want to give him credit. You know, we don't want to hurt him too much.
I have this as a C-, solely because the Cowboys screwed themselves. They waited until basically everyone was hired to fire Mike McCarthy. They couldn't get interviews in because it was.
Do you remember why though? They waited too long.
Yeah, they waited too long.
Because the way Mike McCarthy's contract was set up, it expired after the deadline to get these interviews in with the Ben Johnson and stuff.
Yep.
You're telling me you don't think Ben Johnson would have said, "Give me the Dallas Cowboys"? You know,
there's a lot of people who wanted the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm an Eagles fan, and I don't think the job's that attractive personally. But you're telling me Ben Johnson might not say, "Hey, you know what? Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Romeo Dowdle, you know, stud running back coming on."
I think he's a free agent.
Is he really?
Yeah. They need a running back. But I think it's solely for the brand, the brand of the Dallas Cowboys. Over there, that's Jerry's world. He runs how he wants it to run, and if you don't align with that, then you're out.
But do you want to live in Jerry's world?
That's the question.
Do you want to have everything controlled? That's my question to you. Like,
that's where this conversation comes in about if they promote Interley, which they did, or they go with someone who's already been there, like someone like Kellen Moore, or even Deion Sanders, who was talked about for a little bit. Like those guys knew what it was like to be like in Jerry's world and how that program is run. So there was conversation about that. But yeah, I also didn't think it was that attractive a job.
Especially since their salary cap is trash.
Yeah.
I mean, they're strapped. They're strapped. They're paying
Dak a lot of money. They're paying CD a lot of money, and they have to pay Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and Micah Parsons, look, as a Penn State fan, man, he's a stud, dude.
Yeah.
He gets to the quarterback, plays the run well, can drop in coverage. He's just a top tier athlete, really. But so for me, personally, on this hire, Cowboys, C+. All right, and the reason I give it a C+ instead of an F is because this guy's father, really, respect for him. Like, his dad was a great NFL coach. He was under his dad. He learned from him. He learned how to run a program. I think that's going to go a long way. I do. But when you're in the Dallas Cowboys organization, does it really matter how much well you can run a program when Jerry Jones is going to tell you what to do? Jerry Jones is going to say, hey, I want that wide receiver out of SMU versus that tackle out of Texas State Christian University or wherever it's at. Like, you gotta be who you can afford to be.
Yeah.
It's
probably why they haven't won anything in 25 years.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, we don't want to bury them all in one segment here, but there's probably a reason for it. Brian Schottenheimer, I'll be interested to see. He's coming into a situation where he's got a veteran quarterback.
Yep.
And Dak Prescott, look, is he Jalen Hurts? No, he's not. Is he Patrick Mahomes? No, he's not. Is he Kirk Cousins? Maybe he's that B plus quarterback. That can't really. He needs all the pieces around him. But Dak Prescott's a solid quarterback.
Yeah.
You got C.D. Lamb. You got Donald Schultz, which actually I think he's with the Texans.
Yeah.
Their tight end. Terrence Ferguson. That's who it is.
I think.
He's in. Yeah, that's who it is. He's a good little piece too. So he didn't do much against the Eagles, so I kind of forgot his name, but whatever. Anyways, we don't want to go on him too hard here, but so like I think it'll be an interesting hire. I don't know that it's a great hire. I don't know that it's a terrible hire.
Right.
But they could have had Ben Johnson. They could have had Brian Flores, who I think was a very underrated candidate this cycle, defensive coordinator for the Vikings.
Yeah.
He had the Vikings defense flying around this year, making plays, people were believing the Vikings could go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. The last time that happened, that was 2017. And then they got smoked by the Philadelphia Eagles, but we won't talk about that, will we? Put a ring on us, we ought. But, hey, it's fine. These got him flying around, making plays, but I think Brian Flores would have been a much better hire, evaluating one side of the ball versus, I don't know, Brian Schottenheimer is the guy, but it'd be fascinating to see. And as an Eagles fan, hey, we'll take advantage of your mistake. Take advantage of that.
That's right.
But what do you think about the I just saw something come across my phone here in the last 20 minutes or so. So the Cowboys they're eyeing, as it says, according to ESPN, they're eyeing Matt Eberflus as their prime candidate for defensive coordinator, which I find interesting because he's coming from the Bears, and the Bears defense was flying around a little bit, so I'll give him that. Maybe Brian Schottenheimer knows what he's looking for in an assistant. Maybe he knows a little bit of something. What do you think about that?
Well, even though the Bears' offense was trash, their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus is a good defensive head coach, so I think him as a defense coordinator is good. I think that'll be a good hire. The Cowboys' defense is pretty good when they're healthy. Trayvon Diggs was hurt, I think, all this year.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons missed some games. They had like a second-year middle linebacker, I think with DeMarvion Overshown.
Mm-hmm.
He really picked up his game this year. They got some good pieces on the defense. And get a guy like Matt Eberflus in, I think they could.
Someone that can speak to the young talent too, because they had Mike Zimmer in there, and I don't know. I mean, the word on the street with him is he's a little old in the tooth, a little bit, a little long in the tooth. Maybe he couldn't connect with the young guys.
Maybe.
That's a big thing nowadays, you know. It's a big thing. These guys get all their NIL deals in college football, and you know they can't take criticism as much. They don't want to face adversity. So maybe this will be a breath of fresh air with getting Matt Eberflus in there. Maybe you're onto something there a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe it'll pick up for them, but only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
If they hire him.
Yeah, that'll be fascinating to see what they do there.
Oh yeah. So one team we haven't talked about that hasn't hired a head coach is the New Orleans Saints.
Oof.
And there are reports of several people getting talked about. It's Mike McCarthy. There's Joe Brady. Who do you think is the most possible for this position?
So I'm going to go back to the candidate I was talking about earlier. I think you need when talking about the New Orleans Saints, okay? You have a certain amount of history there with Drew Brees and Sean Payton, what they did for an extended period of time, and they did well. They won a Super Bowl. They were a perennial contender. I think you got to look at someone who's going to shift the culture, okay? Mm-hmm. And I saw Alvin Kamara coming out on Twitter and saying, my vote for head coach rhymes with fizzy, okay? Well, they're talking about head coach Rizzy. Yep. Rizzy, who was interim head coach for them. Here's my thing with an interim head coach, first of all. I have mad respect for you. You're getting popped in this situation here. You got to get these guys to buy in for 6-10 weeks, end of the season. So, mad respect for you to get the boys to playing hard, okay? Solid.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's the guy. So, I'm thinking you're looking at someone like Brian Flores, okay? Brian Flores. I know I've seen Robert Saleh, and I think is he hired now as the 49ers head coach?
Yeah.
Or defensive coordinator?
Yeah, he's officially hired.
So if I was the Saints, I would have pushed hard for Robert Saleh. I think he's a tremendous, tremendous guy, head coach. But I think he got dirty by the Jets. Okay, but he's off the market, so we ain't going to talk about him. So I think it really comes down to you don't have a young quarterback to develop, okay? If you do, maybe you want to look at an offensive guy like Kellen Moore, what he's done with Jalen Hurts. I think it's a year early for Kellen Moore, but I'm not an NFL GM, so I'm not in that position to hire. But I think you look at Brian Flores. You know, he's building a culture. He was in New England under Bill Belichick. He went to Miami. He had a little bit of a rough spot with Tua, but that's the first time they won games in a long time under Brian Flores. And you know, then he went to Minnesota, and they got the defense flying around. And you look at New Orleans, and their salary cap is not great. And I was trying to get a number on that, and I don't know. Maybe we can get a salary cap number on the New Orleans Saints here eventually. But I believe they're minus deep in the red. Okay, they're under. So you're not going to have a lot of resources to go with. I think you got to go bring someone in who can change the culture. And then, you know, if I was them, I would have went hard Brian Flores here. Or, now granted, he's hired already, Robert Saleh or Pete Carroll. Someone who's going to come in, say, boys, this is how we do it. Get on my back, and I'm going to take you there. All right? What about you? What do you think? What do you think the vibe is there? What do you think the move is? I mean, it's just such a fascinating situation because they don't really have a quarterback. I mean, Derek Carr, do you really believe in him?
No, I really don't. I really don't believe in Derek Carr. There was like maybe a year or two stretch where he was decent for the Raiders.
Yeah.
But that's about it. And the Saints, they have a million aging pieces. Like the guys that are so old on there, and like I agree. I think they need to get a guy in there that'll change the culture. I think Brian Flores would be good for that. I also think Mike McCarthy would be good for that.
That's a good pull.
But yeah, they just need a lot to work on. They need a younger quarterback. They need a lot on defense. They have a lot of aging pieces on defense. They traded away their best cornerback to the Commanders.
So, what if you brought in a young guy? I like Mike McCarthy, but you got to think he wants to go to a team that's ready to potentially win a Super Bowl. He wants to go to a young team that's got a quarterback, that's got some pieces, got some cap space. Maybe like the Bears were, but obviously the Bears got Ben Johnson, so that's fine. But what if you went in there, Brian Flores said, "All right, by the way, they're minus $52 million in the cap.
That's bad.
That's horrendous.
That's bad.
Okay, so they don't got any wiggle room. And that comes from all those years with Drew Brees and Sean Payton kicking the can down the road, deferring salaries, on all that stuff, which is fine. You have Drew Brees. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But maybe you come in and just say, hey, we're trading Cam Jordan.
Yep.
Draft picks. We're trading Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. My bad. Trade all these guys. Get draft capital back and start over. Blow it up. Start over. Maybe you don't get a quarterback this round, but next year, Drew Aller, Penn State,
Arch Manning.
I mean, there's a lot of guys coming out. Maybe you play the 2 year game for quarterback.
Yeah.
Or hey, maybe you take a flyer on Will Howard at Ohio State. Man,
yeah, he's a dog.
He's a dog, certified dog. My boy Pat McAfee been hyping him up lately.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, Pat McAfee, he's selling me on Will Howard. He won a national championship. That's not easy to do.
He played great in those stretch of games.
Yeah, now granted, he beat Notre Dame, so I know producer Cade here. He doesn't like that they beat Notre Dame. We got a Notre Dame picture hanging up, but that's under protest from us here on the couch and the chair. But dog, he's got that it factor.
Oh yeah.
When the marbles are all there, the chips are all in, he's gonna come out there and he's gonna ball out.
Oh yeah.
So maybe you take a late round on him. Maybe bring him in, sit him under Derek Carr for a year, 2 years.
Maybe he's rising up those draft boards though. He might go second round.
I think he's worth a second round pick. You know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Jalen Hurts.
Really?
Yeah. He's got the leadership skills. He's got the interpersonal skills to handle teammates. He can throw the ball a little bit. He can run. But, obviously throwing the ball is his weakness. And at a quarterback position, that seems a little, like an oxymoron. Like, hey, you kind of need to throw the ball to be a quarterback. But, hey, you sit him under Derek Carr for a couple years, feel him out a little bit. Maybe Brian Flores, if he gets the job there, can, get himself a guy. I don't know. That's just me kind of coming off the cuff here. But if I'm the Saints, I'm looking for a cheap option. I'm looking to reload in the draft. I'm looking to trade back trade all those pieces out and get draft picks. Because, Peachy, I don't know about you, but I don't think the Saints are anywhere close to winning a Super Bowl.
Not even close.
Yeah. So I think you got to fully commit, free sell it, and start over.
They had 2 games this year. The first 2 games, averaging 40 points a game, and they're smoking. They smoked the Cowboys, and I forget who else they smoked. And that was it.
Panthers.
The Panthers. Panthers are the Panthers.
Yeah.
But
no one knew, though, at that point.
The Panthers had a good stretch at the end. Yeah. But anyway, that's besides the point. Then after that, they sucked. So you definitely need to blow it up. It's the time. Derek Carr is not good. Alvin Kamara, you can get still value for it because he's still a pretty good running back. But yeah, things need to change for the Saints.
Yeah. So we got a big weekend coming up here. We're shooting this on Friday, January 24th.
Oh yeah.
What's this weekend? We got any big NFL games?
Massive.
Massive? Really?
Massive.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Talk to me.
These games.
Does it mean anything?
Oh yeah.
Does it?
Get the trip to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, you gotta get a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Super Bowl? We're talking about playoffs?
We're talking about playoffs.
Talking about the playoffs?
We're talking about playoffs.
Damn. All right, hit me with it. Who's on the AFC side? Let's start with there.
So we got Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And a reoccurring theme, the Kansas City Chiefs.
What? No way.
Oh yeah.
They're there again?
Again.
What?
And this will be
I can't imagine.
the
I'm shocked.
the fourth playoff matchup between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
And Josh Allen is 0-3
Oh.
in the playoffs.
Oh.
So this will be rough.
So odds are stacked against him. Wait, hold on. Isn't there a famous celebrity that supports the Chiefs?
Unfortunately.
Who's that? Talk to me.
Some chick named Taylor Swift.
Chick, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift?
She's massive, apparently.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Never heard of her. Anyways, just kidding, by the way. To all my T Swift fans out there. This is massive, man.
Oh yeah.
Chiefs, Bills, are you kidding me?
It's huge.
Get me there. This is a fascinating matchup. I mean, you got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce on one side. You got Amari Cooper, savvy veteran.
Oh yeah.
Dalton Kincaid, James Cook on the Bills side. On the Chiefs side, you got Travis Kelce. You have Xavier Worthy. I mean, young,
guy.
fast rookie. Isaiah Pacheco.
He runs hard.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this game? How do you feel? What's your early breakdown? What's your early vibe here? Or your late vibe, I guess, because we're 40.
Yeah.
We're less than 48 hours.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be a tough one to predict.
Who's your biggest X factor?
My biggest X factor?
Yeah, let's go like this. Who's your biggest X factor from the Chiefs' perspective? If you're a Chiefs fan, who other than Patrick Mahomes, obviously, he's obviously got to play well. He's top 2 quarterback in the NFL. But who are you saying I need that guy to perform if you're a Chiefs fan? What are your thoughts there?
I think if you're a Chiefs fan, you need Travis Kelce to play well.
Okay.
Obviously, the last game, he put up over 100 yards receiving. And generally, when that happens, the Chiefs win. And even when it doesn't, they still somehow find ways to win. But I think Travis Kelce needs to play well for the Chiefs to have a chance in this game. Otherwise, I really think this is Josh Allen's year. And I think the Bills make the Super Bowl here.
Oh, okay. Peachy coming in high with the Super Bowl pick. Bills, we'll get a score from you later. Here.
Yeah.
So, for me, if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about this game. Obviously, as you said, you need Travis Kelce to play well. You need the offense to play well. But if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm looking at the defensive line for the Chiefs as total. You got Chris Jones.
Yep.
You got Karlaftis up front. These guys need to make a hard day on Josh Allen. Okay, you got to get after him, make the pocket collapse on him early.
Yep.
Don't give him a lot of time to throw. But then also, if you're an edge rusher, if you're lining up on the edge, you gotta give rush lane integrity. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but staying in your gaps, staying disciplined, not giving him a bunch of rush lanes. Because what is Josh Allen's one of his greatest assets? I mean, depends how you rank him. This is top 2.
Yeah.
It's running.
Oh, yeah.
Rushing the ball.
He's a big boy
and
that can run.
Josh Allen last game, get this. Ready for the stat?
Oh yeah.
Josh Allen, last time they played the Chiefs, 12 rushes, 55 yards. Tutty.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And you want to know what his longest rush was? You want to know what his rush was?
Was about 30 yards?
Close. 26.
Oh, 4 yards.
You know what? That's a big play opportunity. And my point with that is if the Chiefs' defensive line can contain him to the rushing, hey, we might, you get him 4 yards and then pop him, Let him know that, hey, you can run, but how many times are you going to run after you get hit that hard?
Yep.
So I'll be fascinated to see, can the Chiefs' defensive line contain him And we'll see after that. If they break down contain, they get undisciplined in their gaps. Josh Allen's gonna have a field day. By the way, a little tidbit for later on, a little foreshadowing out there. Josh Allen, 40.5 over/under rushing yards for the game on FanDuel. Hammer it. By the way, just a little hint there out there for the crowd. A little early tidbit. But yeah, I mean, and if you're the Bills, how do you go about this, man? I mean, you're 0-3 against them in the playoffs. You beat them in the regular season. I believe they're 4-1 in the regular season. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes era.
Yep.
I mean, what do you tell if you're Sean McDermott, Peachy? If you're Sean McDermott, standing in front of the boys before you head out there, the Arrowhead Stadium, pack that with the Chiefs crowd. What are you saying? How you feeling about this?
Man, I think if I'm Sean McDermott, I think you need to find some way to contain Mahomes on the defense side.
Define, contain. You think of rushing?
Because Mahomes can scramble out of the pocket and make any play possible. It's insane. But he can also be a very good pocket passer.
Yeah.
So how do you go about that? I think you need to have that rushing lane integrity, but also not commit so much to where he can scramble out of the pocket.
Okay. So you're relying on veterans like Von Miller,
right?
And
you have a good Gregory Rousseau is really good.
Gregory Rousseau, dog,
really good. Not quite sure who their linebackers are, but
Milano's in there. Yep. Milano's a certified dog. He's making plays everywhere.
Yep. And then their secondary has to hold up. They don't have Jordan Poyer anymore. They don't have Micah Hyde anymore. So their safeties need to play well. Their DBs need to play well. Yeah, DeMar Hamlin.
Tre'Davious White.
If they can hold up and that defensive line can get home, I think they're in a good spot.
For me, I like what you're saying about the defense there for the Bills, but for me, it comes down to the Bills' offense. Joe Brady, one thing that stood out to me, from watching him, throughout this season, really, as he develops and as the Bills are progressing in the season, they're very disciplined when they say, hey, we're going to get X amount of runs called. Peachy, they're calling them runs. So I'll be interested to see James Cook, okay? James Cook for me is fascinating. He's very interesting. He's a great running back. He's no, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley yet, but he could be there in a year, 2 years maybe. So it'll be fascinating to see what they do. I believe the Chiefs defense was top 7 in rushing defense, I believe, from a little stat research here I had earlier. So what are they going to do? Are they going to be able to contain him? Or is this Bills offensive line going to be able to get downhill on him, lean on them, be physical with them? Are they going to be able to control the game? Because James Cook and then also Dalton Kincaid, man. Dalton Kincaid, stud tight end out of Utah University. He was up and down this year. But at the end of the day, he's a top-tier athlete, top-tier pass catcher. A little young Travis Kelce maybe. So we'll be fascinated. Very fascinated to see what they do with that. So with that being said, we doing predictions later? We gonna we do?
I think we can do it right now.
Do you want to do predictions? All right.
And then we'll move on to the next one.
So what's your prediction for this game then? You got Bills, Chiefs, Kansas City, 6:30 p.m. Sunday night.
Oh, Sunday night.
We have a spread of. By the way, picking on this show, we are picking versus the spread or against the spread. We will state what we are picking, money line or spread. With that being said, Chiefs currently on FanDuel Sportsbook, -1.5 favorites. What are you going with here? What's your vibe? What if you gotta say, I gotta put X amount of money on this game? What's your shot?
Man, this is a tough spread to bet against. -1.5 is.
It's tough.
It's tight, very tight. But like I alluded to earlier, I'm going to go with the Bills to win this game. So I would bet the Bills money line, and I think the score is going to be 27-24 Bills.
Okay. So you got a Bills win, Bills covering. You went Bills money line, obviously. So we had a little conversation before the show here, and everyone wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes and the officials and the Chiefs, and they get all the calls, blah blah blah. Listen, forget it. Okay, throw it out. I'm with you on this. I think the Bills. I think it's gonna be really. I'm gonna call my shot here, and I'm gonna be a little bold with it, but I like the Bills by a substantial amount.
Oh wow!
I like the Bills by. I'm gonna say it's 35-21. Bills.
2 scores.
2 scores. I think the Bills come out. Their defense is flying around. They're ready to go. Josh Allen has that swagger about him. I think it's going to be... I think it might be a little late backdoor cover, I think they're going to be up about 7 the whole game. They might score an extra, late touchdown with, 9 minutes left in the fourth or whatever. And I think that's what you're going to get you to your 2 scores. But I like the Bills, man. I think Josh Allen, his rushing ability, unbelievable. Amari Cooper, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Keon Coleman, deep threat. What? Shakir. What? I think we're gonna have a vibe here, and I think the Bills are gonna kind of come out and say, "Hey, you guys had your time.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 AFC championships in a row. Congratulations. See you in Cancun in a couple weeks after we win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Hey, we could probably get something like that. So I think Josh Allen's gonna have a big game. 40.5 rushing yards, by the way. Hit the over. If you're a betting person, hit the over. That's a huge win. I would say parlay that with Josh Allen over 40.5 rushing yards, Josh Allen anytime touchdown score, and then kind of find a James Cook look. His rushing yards his over-under for rushing yards. Peachy, help me out here. Where we at?
I can't help you out here. I don't have the juice.
That's all right. I'll find it.
But what you were alluding to, that their time is up. Like I'm good to see a good team win.
Yeah.
But
and here's what I would hit you with. If I'm putting a parlay together, same game parlay, FanDuel Sportsbook, I'm going Josh Allen anytime touchdown score, over 40.5 rushing yards. And then I'm going James Cook, alternate rushing yards. You're going to get 50-plus yards for minus 156. I like that. It's a little safe, but you supplement that with everything else you're doing. I think it's a great 3-leg parlay. Gamble at your own risk, ladies and gentlemen. But
lock it in.
Lock it in. It's good. Book it. Send it to the bank, sweetheart.
Yeah. Send it to your
book
bookie.
it, sweetheart. That's the new segment, by the way. Anyways,
book it, sweetheart.
All right. So the Bills Chiefs game's the only games that happen this weekend.
No, there's a game on the other side.
What?
On the NFC.
I thought this is the Super Bowl because Taylor Swift's boyfriend is playing in this game.
Obviously.
Wait, producer Kate, do we got another game or what?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. He even knows this. What do you mean? He's a Notre Dame.
I mean, we should know this. Our favorite team's in it.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Skull Birds, baby.
Skull
Skull Birds.
Against the Commies.
Who they playing?
The Commies?
Who? Wait, who were they called before? Was it
the Washington football team?
No, that's not the team that I'm thinking.
I think.
What were they called?
Washington.
Wait, who were they called?
Pigskins?
Pigskins? No, that ain't right. It was a color, wasn't it?
Right.
Blue.
Blue?
No.
I think it was the Redskins.
Red, white, blue, red. Was it red?
Redskins?
Redskins?
Whoa,
Kate,
can't say
producer
that.
Kate, is that right?
Can't say that.
Cannot confirm or deny
you're playing
any racial-driven football names.
All right. So we had fun with that, but so the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels are gonna walk into Philadelphia, and Peach. We are an unbiased sports podcast.
Totally unbiased.
But we are called the Amateurs. And we are openly Eagles fans.
Openly. Hardcore.
Unapologetically.
Oh, yeah.
And you will get your heavy dose of Philadelphia Eagles football on this podcast. What are your early thoughts, man? As an unbiased amateur host here from Peaches and Cream and Taters.
Oh, man. This is going to be a very interesting game.
I
mean, during the regular season, they split the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
We beat them at Philly, and they beat us at Washington because Jalen Hurts got hurt. What? This week, Jalen Hurts injured his knee against the Rams, but he played the rest of the game. Obviously limited him.
Yep.
But I've been hearing news that he's been looking very good at practice. So that's good news for the Eagles. The tight end Dallas Goedert might not play, but he wants to play, so who knows?
I think he's dealing with an ankle, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the other side, the Commanders, who knew they would be here?
Agreed.
Jaden Daniels has had one of the best rookie seasons in the history of the NFL.
Tip of the cap.
Yeah. He's doing something incredible. Terry McLaurin has had an incredible year. Their defense has been flying around. They have a veteran, Bobby Wagner, on that team. He's been teaching the young guys. They've been playing well. This is going to be a scrappy game. I think it'll be a good game.
What's your biggest? So the line's at 6.5 according to FanDuel, and that's our certified sports book on this show. If we're talking about a line, that's probably what we're referring to. However, Peachy, if you're a Commanders fan, what is your hope? Let's say, what's your glimmer of hope to say, hey, the Commanders, a 6.5 point underdog on the road in Philadelphia? Hey, what's your hope? What's your reason for hope here?
Yeah.
Hit me, boss.
Well, obviously you need to contain the run game.
Wait, remind me, who's the Eagles running back?
Some guy named Saquon Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a dog.
Yeah, certified dog, steal. You stink, Giants. Anyways, go along.
The last time they played, the Eagles were killing them on the run with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. But then Jalen Hurts goes out with a concussion, and Kenny Pickett comes in. And that completely takes away the quarterback run. And they can key in on Saquon, and they stop that. And that was to their advantage. They ended up winning the game. And then the first time they played, Saquon ran all over him. Jalen Hurts was healthy, and the Eagles won that game. So if you're Washington, you need to be able to stop the run of both Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, which is extremely hard to do. Hardly anyone has done it this year. And if you can do that, you have a very good chance of winning. The Eagles don't pass it that much. And in the playoffs, when Jalen Hurts passes for more than 180 yards, 200 yards, they don't have a very good record. So the Eagles run the ball well. They tend to win.
So you're saying if you're a Washington Commanders fan, and you don't have a lot of hope here, all right? You don't have a lot of hope, but we'll be unbiased here for a second. You're saying you got to contain the run. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, both of them running. I mean, Jalen Hurts had a 40-yard touchdown last game against the Rams. But, part of your confidence has got to rely on, you got Jaden Daniels on your side. You got Terry McLaurin on your side.
And
Brian
Zach
Robinson
Ertz
on your side. Zach Ertz, which, by the way, I'll be very fascinated to see how that all breaks down with Philly fans with him, because last time they were there, last time they played, Nick Sirianni, Zach Ertz got in a little beef post-game. Do Philly fans come to the aid of Nick Sirianni? Do they kind of get on Zach Ertz about it? I'll be kind of fascinated. Philly fans, they're cutthroat. They'll acknowledge, they'll thank you for a Super Bowl, and then they'll cuss you out 30 seconds later for being on the other team. They're a little aggressive sometimes.
Doug Peterson.
See you later, alligator. See ya. But yeah, I think if you're the Commanders fan, you got to be like, hey, we got Jaden Daniels, stud rookie. Zach Ertz, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, Terry McLaurin, all these guys on the offense. I think it'll be very fascinating. One thing I think that's going to overarch all this is, for me, you got to look at the fact the Commanders are down an interior offensive lineman. He tore his ACL. Came out earlier today. I believe it was Sam Cosme.
Yeah, Sam Cosme.
So he's a good offensive lineman. Hey, who do the Eagles have on the interior defensive line?
A dog, both physically.
What's his name?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter? Are you kidding me?
He's a dog physically, and he came from a program of dogs, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah, he did. He picked up a quarterback last week and held him like a baby. He said, "Rockabye, baby. Sit down, Matt Stafford." You know, you got Jordan Davis on the inside, Josh Sweat coming off the outside, Nolan Smith, Georgia Bulldog. How you doing? Keep it moving. You know, we got all these guys. That's going to be a tough task for that interior offensive line for Washington, who I don't know if they can hold up for that. You know, they can hold up for a duration of a game. By the way, no snow forecasted. That's huge for me, because that's going to allow the defensive linemen to get off easier. Yep. They're not going to be slipping around. Saquon Barkley, not going to be getting off. Receivers, DBs, both sides, they're going to be able to get traction a little bit. So that'll be very fascinating for me. But yeah, for the biggest X factor for me for this game, if I'm an Eagles fan, and even an offensive line or a Commanders fan, I'm looking at the interior, the trenches.
Yep.
Trenches. Defensive line of the Eagles versus the offensive line of the Commanders. That's going to be very fascinating. But, you know, we don't want to keep people too long here, but there's a lot of bulletin material coming out of Washington. Maybe they're getting a little ahead of their skis. I mean, let me just, you had the defensive coordinator saying they're going to treat Jalen Hurts like he's a running back. Is that an open bounty gate from the Washington Commanders defensive coordinator?
That's
I
crazy.
don't know. And then you got Jordan Mailata. Did you see his quote?
Yeah, he said he doesn't care.
He said he doesn't care. If you aren't in the Philadelphia Eagles NovaCare Complex facility, guess what?
We don't care.
Don't care. We don't care. And that's what I like about this team. There's not a lot of noise coming out. They're very quiet. They're going about their business. They're saying, "Oh, you want to talk? Okay. Well, guess what? We'll see you on the field Sunday at 3 o'clock.
That's
Don't
right.
worry about it. Don't worry about it,
Don't worry
sweetheart.
about it.
Don't worry about it." So it'll be very fascinating. I think it'll be interesting. Do you got a prediction for this game, or are you kind of trying to stay out of this one?
No, I think I got a prediction for this game.
You want me to set the spread for you?
Yeah, give me the spread.
All right, we got Eagles minus 6.5, Commanders plus 6.5. What is your betting advice? What's your pick for this game, boss?
So, for this one, I do think this is going to be a tighter game than people should think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an Eagles win, but a Commanders cover.
Ooh.
I'm going to go they cover the 6.5, but just barely.
Okay.
I'm going to go Eagles win 26-20.
Okay. Tight spread, tight cover. Very nice. You ready for this one?
Oh, yeah.
I picked the blowout in the last one. 35-21 Bills. Did I overreach? We'll see. I got my FanDuel account. I put my money where my mouth is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you do.
Now, I think Philadelphia Eagles are going to walk into the Link on Sunday. Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson,
Dog.
Cam Jurgens,
Dog.
Landon Dickerson,
Dog.
Becton,
Dog.
Tyler Steen,
Unproven.
Dog. Unproven dog. Unproven dog. Get it right, sweetheart. Now, Dallas Goedert.
Dog.
Dog. Devontae Smith.
Dog.
AJ Brown.
Dog. Big dog.
Jalen Hurts.
Dog.
Who's that guy running back? Saquon who?
The biggest dog.
Saquon Barkley. Okay, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so all that being said, listen, you got the Washington Commanders defense coordinator throwing all this jargon out, saying they're going to be tough and whatever. Guess what? I heard a saying one time from a coach in high school basketball. He said, we're coming up with a game plan for this team. He said, this is a perfect game plan. Guess what? Peachy?
What?
Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the math. All right?
Oh, yeah. Their teeth knocked out.
Yeah. And guess what's going to happen on Sunday about 3:15? Okay?
What's going to happen? Taters.
Well, let me tell you something. Eagles are going to come out. They're going to punch them in the math. They're going to run down their throats. They're going to out-physical them. They're going to lean on them. And they're going to remind them, now's not your time. Now's not your time. Okay? Eagles. Ready for this score?
Oh, yeah.
Eagles, 28.
Okay.
Commanders, 17. Jaden Daniels, 2 picks. Two. Not one, but two. All right? Vic Fangio, stud defensive coordinator. We're going to be getting pressure on him all day. Got Quinyon Mitchell coming back, Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I mean, we got them all. Darius Slay, dog, okay? We got Nakobe Dean. He's out. Who cares? We got Zach Bond, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
DPOY.
Yeah, the defensive player of the year. Exactly. So that's my prediction. 28-17 Eagles covering the spread, -6.5. Lock it in. As far as the same game parlay, I got you with this. All right, you ready for this, folks? We got Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown score. Okay, given tush push. Right. On FanDuel, there's a little section under same game parlay. Okay, ready for this? Player to record a sack. Hold on, is that who I think it is? Jalen Carter to record a sack plus 116. Put it on the board.
That's
Let's go.
Easy.
Okay, so we got Jalen Carter plus 1 to record a sack. We got Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. And on FanDuel, we have player rushing yards. Saquon Barkley over under 125.5. He's got over that both games against the Commanders this regular season. Put it in there, okay? Saquon Barkley over 125.5 rushing yards.
Oh, yeah.
All right? And lastly, well, if you're feeling adventurous, put -6.5 Eagles covering the spread. How you doing? Keep it moving. That's all for the NFC AFC Championship previews. Oh, yeah. I think we got some good college basketball coming up tomorrow, but you guys will probably not hear this by then, so just enjoy the games, and we'll get you some college basketball content early next week, maybe the week after that, after the Super Bowl and everything. But Peachy, you got anything else to add here on this following?
No, I do not. Just thanks for listening. Hope you continue to listen. As we get better at this, we'll be better at the news.
Yeah. Work in progress, off the cuff.
Oh, yeah, work in
All
progress.
I got to say is...
This was off the cuff, by the way. We just decided to do this.
Yeah, we were sitting here, we did a test run, and we said, hey, why not? Why not share a little show? All right? But listen, don't be lame and keep this show to yourself. Share it with a friend.
Share it with the family.
Share it with the grandma. Share it with the grandpa, your father, your mother. Don't matter. Share it, okay? All right? And we're just a bunch of amateurs, which is why we're called the show The Amateurs. Yeah. Peachy, you got us from here, bro.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening, for watching, wherever you find us. You can be found on YouTube, on Spotify. Make sure you follow us and keep giving us a listen.
This has been The Amateurs. Tune in next time to hear your host say...
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.